spice things up a little bit. That's better. Hi everyone, it's December 4th and Spotify Wrapped has finally been released. If you're like a lot of people, like me, you love Spotify Wrapped. I don't know, it's just like something fun. I love that Spotify Wrapped is a thing because it's just something fun. Guys, can't we have fun? Can it be a little annoying after everybody posted on their Instagram story? I thought it'd be even more fun if I blind react to my Spotify Wrapped for 2024. I'm really excited. Guys, how many times can I say it? This is so fun. And you don't even have to know who I am or care to maybe find this interesting, okay? It's just, I like to see what people are listening to. I like to see what we fill our days with. If you're like me, you're constantly on Spotify. I get my money's worth from Spotify. What is it, like $12 now a month? 10, 12? They can have it. It's worth it. The last 2 years, I've seen my Spotify and I just kind of like talked about it on camera, but this year's the first time that I'm actually blind reacting to this, so I have no clue. I have not listened to Spotify all morning long. It's time. It's time. I also love just recap things, like looking back on a year. It's really fun to see where you were at a certain point, how much you've changed over a year. I also had a job this year where I listened to Spotify like constantly. I always had a headphone in like 8 hours a day. I don't know if that's good for you. Everyone thinks that AirPods are gonna kill us now. I did have an AirPod in like all the time. I'm really hoping I can get that music listening minutes up this year. Every year I'm disappointed by how low the number is because I think I listen to quite a bit of music. Before I start, let's do a few predictions. It won't come to a shock like what my music type is like, but I think my number one artist is gonna be either Taylor Swift, Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, Harry Styles. I think those are top 4 at least. I feel like a lot of people are getting Espresso on their top songs, so I feel like that's probably gonna be on there. But I listen to Tortured Poets a lot. I listen to Brat a hell of a lot. I listen to Harry Styles all the time. That's a go-to. So those are kind of my predictions before we really get into it. Also, they always have some weird themes, so let's see how it is this year. Hi there, it's that time of year again. Spotify Wrapped's ready, are you? Life moves fast. You listened for 31,765 minutes this year. That puts you in the top 11% of the world. Your biggest listening month was June 12th with 521 minutes. Where do you find the time? Guys, 30, that's big. 30 is a big number for me. Usually it's like 18 or 20. So big number. Already loving that. Also, June, I think at that point I was moving. So I was on the road listening to music a lot. I did a cross-country move from Maine to Oklahoma this year. If that gives you a little bit of an insight of how I filled my time. You played 963 songs this year and one song again and again and again and again. It's got to be a Charlie XCX song. Yeah. Your top song was 360 by Charlie XCX. I was in the top 0.5% of listeners globally. Wow. You streamed it 19 times starting on May 12th. I'm so surprised that it's 360 because that's not even my favorite song from that album. 360 is like the big one. And also, was it a single? I think it was a single before the album, so that kind of makes sense. Well, it's not a competition. There's a leaderboard. Oop, wow. Your top songs. Oh my gosh, not a single Taylor Swift song. Wow. Number one song, 360 by Charlie XCX. Still, I'm shocked by that, but I guess it was the single that I listened to a lot. When you're in the mirror, you're just looking at me. I'm everywhere, I'm so Julia. Okay, this one I kind of thought about, but number 2 is B2B, Back to Back by Charlie XCX. Guys, when I was driving in the roads in Pennsylvania, back to back to back to back to you. There's a drop in that song. Oh, it gets me so hyped. That whole album gets me so hyped, and I think that's why I love it so much because like I just want to dance and like jump around. Brat has been my number one running album. Like if I'm going to work out, if I'm going to actually force myself to pick up the pace, that's the album. Okay, number 3 is Mean Girls. I kind of forgot, but yeah. I just like love the concept of the story of the Mean Girls. Everyone hates this girl. They can't stop talking about her though, and she loves that you talk shit on her because you're talking about her. Love that. It's such an attitude. Okay, number 4, only song that I guessed right was Espresso because like the biggest song in the world, especially this summer, like song of the summer, that's that Me Espresso. I mean, it's addictive. It's addictive. You can't stop singing it. There's crack in that song. And number 5, Von Dutch. Okay, that makes sense. I think that was also, I listened to the single more than I listened to it when the entire album came out. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe that's my number 1. I really can't. Next up, let's keep it rolling. These slides go so fast. I spent 21,958 minutes listening to podcasts this year. Yep, podcasts fuel my life. They make life so much better. Top podcast topic was comedy. I was in the top 5% of comedy. Well, I love to laugh. What more can I say? Top podcasts. Number 1, The Toast. Every year I say the same thing, but I've been on The Toast. I've been listening to those two girls from 2016. I'm a loyal and true toaster, but we go way back. I also love a daily podcast. Like, not many people do a daily podcast. You need more podcasts to listen to every day. I don't have a whole lot of podcasts that are on my rotation, but the ones I do love, I'm like, give me more, because most of them are just weekly. But The Toast is day to day, and so therefore I will be listening. Number 2 is Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain, which I'm kind of surprised by that because I've gone through waves with this one. It is a weekly podcast. Emma Chamberlain has kind of switched up the vibe of the podcast to what I kind of like more. She used to talk more about philosophical topics and trying to get really deep, and I like whenever she just talks about nonsense. I like whenever she just talks about her life, things going on in her life, talking about things going on in the world, whereas whenever she tries to specifically get onto a topic, but that's okay. It's still fun to listen to her. So number 3, and this is a new one for me, is This Past Weekend with Theo Vaughn. I just think Theo Vaughn is so funny. He gets on a bit a lot in his episodes, keeps going back to this bit where you're like, oh my gosh, either drop it or you're just like, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's an interview style kind of podcast, so he has someone on there to talk about topics, or maybe he's just interested in he's had cafeteria ladies, a garbage man on there. It's just random. It's so crazy. He has a very interesting life story. And I mean, he's friends with all the comedians. So usually whenever they're on there talking, it's just funny. It's just fun to laugh. At the end of the day, I just want to laugh. Number 4 is Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast. I listen to every single episode of this podcast. I love their dynamic. They're my favorite sort of podcast when it comes to just talking about nothing. They are the definition of just talking about nothing, and it's so interesting and so funny, and it's so goofy. Don't know what else to say to convince you to listen to it. If you're young, you're in the pop culture, into pop culture, you're into kind of current events, I guess, with pop culture. They're fun to listen to. I have been listening to Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast for about, I want to say 3 years now. I think I'm going on 3 years, maybe just 2-ish, but it's fun stuff. They're just goofy, and I love it. Okay. Also, Brooke started a podcast by herself, and she has just her friends on, and it's basically what some of my videos are, where it's just I talk about things I've been obsessed with. I love just listening to what people are obsessed with. And then number 5 has been a joy in my life. It's Ride with Benito Skinner and Mary Beth Barone. I mean, they're both just comedians, actors. The concept of their podcast is literally what I was just kind of saying with Brooks. They both pick one thing, kind of like a topic or maybe an object or a concept. I don't know. They tell you why they ride for that one thing or how it's affected their life, and then they both kind of just talk on it, and it's hilarious. And so they ride for peanut butter. That's just an example. Maybe they'll ride for blankets. They've rode for chairs before. I don't know. They're just so funny. They've got their own little lingo and way they talk too, and it's just very entertaining. I also wish they would come out with more podcasts because I love listening to them. They go on breaks twice a year because they obviously have other things going on. I'm kind of surprised they're 5. You've changed and so has your listening. Here's a look at my music evolution. April was your pink Pilates Princess Vogue pop phase. What? Excuse me? You were really into artists like Charlie XCX, Taylor Swift, and Sabrina Carpenter. This is giving AI. This is giving they plugged in pop culture internet lingo. My pink Pilates Princess Vogue pop phase? That's a mouthful. Can't wait to see what else they come up with. These graphics are doing the most. May was my surf crush happy rock indie season. I was listening to Tame Impala, Royal Otis, and The Wallows. What are these titles? I know they come up with playlists like this, but it's doing the most. June? Oh my god, are we gonna do every month? It was my bougie strut rap moment. Okay. You listen to 481 artists, not to brag, but one has a special place in your heart and ears. It's gonna be Charlie XCX. Ooh, Taylor Swift was your top artist of the year? Wow. Longest listening streak was 6 days, and those 6 days were when Tortured Poet Society came out. This is the thing that doesn't make sense to me. How is she my top artist, but my top songs were all Charlie XCX? I get maybe I listen to a variety of Taylor Swift more. Charlie XCX, I really just listened to her Brat album, so I guess that makes sense, but Taylor Swift was my top artist. Wow. I was a top 6% fan and spent 942 minutes together. 6%, not too shabby, okay? Who else got a lot of play this year? I'm interested. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, did I not call it? Taylor Swift was my number 1. Solid, reoccurring theme. 2 was Charlie XCX. She kind of like ruled from June until like now, honestly. Number 3, Sabrina Carpenter. Got to see her in concert this year. That was literally so much fun. Like the concert was so entertaining. It went so fast. She's so cute and fun. The dances were fun. Her outfits were fun. The set was fun. That's the theme of this whole video, like fun. Okay, how many times can I say it? Take a shot every single time. Number 4, Harry Styles, like it's comfort. He's a comfort blanket. I love his music. I can't wait for him to come out with more music, hopefully very soon. I know all the words. I can dance. I can sing too. Like Harry Styles is my favorite shower music. And then number 5, this is shocking, but Beyonce, which I guess whenever Cowboy Carter came out, I did listen to it a little bit, but I really didn't listen that much. Like I liked it, but it didn't stick for me. It didn't stick. It didn't grow. It was just kind of like, okay, that was fun. So, those are my top artists. Oh, looks like we have company. Oh.
Top listeners on Spotify. That's so nice of you. I look back on this year and I think about how special you guys.
Thanks for coming along the ride. Until we meet again. All right, that was it. They didn't do like the genre breakdown like they usually do. Did I miss that? Was that in there? I don't know. Anyways, that was my Spotify wrap for 2024. It's so fun. Now I can go be annoying and post it on my story and show everyone. Nobody cares. I hope you enjoyed this video though. I really do think this is kind of a fun thing to get to know me or just in general to see how people listen to music. I love you, Spotify. Comment down below your top artist of the year, your top song, maybe your top podcast. Give me some podcast ideas. I'm always looking for more podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts on YouTube too, or watch rather. I said it once and I'll say it again. YouTube needs a Spotify like wrapped, kind of like dupe, because I spend a lot of time on YouTube posting videos or watching videos. YouTube, are you listening? They're not. If you're curious to see how my taste has changed over the years, I've got 2 other videos just like this, so I will link those below if you're interested. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Follow me on Instagram at @Hlander_. Until next year, because I'll be doing the same video next year. It's such a fun video to do. I would love to watch some celebrities do something like this, What does Pedro Pascal listen to? What does Leonardo DiCaprio's Spotify Wrapped look like? No clue. No fucking clue. Thanks again. Love you. Bye.